So what's going to happen now is these crews, along with engines that you see here behind me, are going to post up on all these structures, the ones that are defendable. Bad things are going to happen, and we need to be prepared.
Wildfires are raging across Europe, destroying homes, businesses and forests. The situation is out of control and thousands of people have been evacuated. This is a climate crisis in action, and we need to take action now to prevent more devastation. In Croatia, winds were so strong that firefighting aircraft could not take off. Local media reported. Firefighters battled wildfires that were spreading just south of the Adriatic city of Dubrovnik, a tourist destination. At least 34 people were killed in Algeria, where 8,000 firefighters battled blazes across the Tinder dry north. Fires burned in a total of 15 provinces, leading to the evacuation of more than 1,500 people from their properties. Witnesses described fleeing walls of flames that raged like a blowtorch, destroying homes and coastal resorts and turning vast forest areas into blackened wastelands. Fanned by strong winds, fires forced the closure of 2 border crossings with Tunisia, where blazes have been especially fierce in the northwestern Tabarka region. More than 300 people were evacuated from the coastal village of Melula by boat and overland, and fighters were still battling blazes in 3 areas in the northwest: Bizerte, Siliana and Beja. Firefighters struggled to extinguish flames, destroying forests and citrus and hazelnut groves. Italy has also been hit by violent storms and wildfires. At least 7 people were killed after storms in the north and wildfires in Sicily. Milan residents reported torrential rain and hail morning, which flooded streets and uprooted trees, some of which fell onto parked cars. While the north was drenched, the heatwave across the south persisted, with temperatures of 47.6 degrees Celsius, recorded in the eastern Sicilian city of Catania. The bodies of 2 people in their 70s were found in a house destroyed by the flames, while an 88-year-old woman was found near the Sicilian city of Palermo, according to media reports. Sicily's regional president, Renato Schifani, said he planned to ask the government to declare a state of emergency for the island. A decision was expected to be made at the ministers' meeting in Rome. The heat has reached new heights in Switzerland too. The Central European country reported a new record for the so-called 0 degree Celsius line, a key meteorological marker in mountainous regions that reflects the altitude at which the temperature falls below freezing. It is the highest level since records began nearly 70 years ago and surpasses a previous record that was only set in July last year. Another blow for glaciers that have already strongly suffered this year. Snow coverage is only present at the highest elevations, said Matthias Huss, head of Switzerland's Glacier Monitoring Network and a member of WMO's Global Cryosphere Watch community. Greece has also been particularly hard hit this summer, with authorities evacuating more than 20,000 people in recent days from homes and resorts in the south of the holiday island of Rhodes.
The warnings to be careful.
We're trying to be smart and not be out during the middle of the day.
Trying to stay in the shade as much as possible, so a lot of strategic walking next to walls.
We take lots of breaks if we need to, go back to the hotel, shower, change clothes, lots of iced coffees.
This is crew only for forest fires.
When the fires initially broke out, they came within a few miles of the Greek capital of Athens, a metropolis of 3.6 million people. In the Greek port town of Alexandroupolis, nearby, dozens of hospital patients were evacuated onto a ferry, while a blaze on the foothills of Mount Panitha sent thick clouds of smoke over the capital Athens. It was clear in the following days, however, that things were still out of control as fire, carried by strong gusts of wind, again reached the outskirts of the city, disrupting motorway traffic and rail services. Firefighters in water-dropping helicopters and a ground crew put out a blaze in Kifisia, just north of Athens. A wildfire north of Athens that erupted has smothered the capital in smoke and ash, spreading to the town of Menidi, where about 150 people were evacuated from 3 nursing homes. Police ordered others to leave as a helicopter clattered overhead to drop water onto the conflagration.
Όλη η κορυφή μία επάνω στο βουνό μέχρι το πρωί 6 ώρα που έπιασε λίγο η κατάσταση. Έσβησε η φωτιά 9,5 ώρα. Αλλά από εκεί την ώρα και μετά μία παίρνει μία.
At the beginning of the week, Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis' government was finally forced to mount what was Greece's biggest evacuation ever by land and sea, moving around 20,000 people from many villages and holiday resorts. Most were moved from Rhodes, with thousands also evacuated from Evia and another major tourist destination, Corfu. Tourists were told to immediately leave their hotels, many of which were subsequently burnt to the ground and forced to flee on foot as the fires reached the seaside villages of Kiotari, Gennadi, Pefki, Lindos, Lardos, and Kalathos. Close to 3,000 tourists had returned home by plane, according to figures from the Transport Ministry, and tour operators have cancelled upcoming trips. In France, nearly 100 firefighters were trying to contain a wildfire in the municipalities of Cagnes-sur-Mer and Villeneuve-Loubet, close to Nice International Airport, officials said.
Ça explose de partout.
Emergency crews are responding to a wildfire burning in Saint-André, Pyrenees Orientalis department, as of early August 15th. The fire broke out late the previous day, and more than 500 personnel are on site battling the blaze. The fire has burned more than 530 hectares, 1,310 acres of land. Authorities have evacuated more than 3,000 people from the surrounding area, including 4 campsites in Argelès-sur-Mer. Several emergency shelters are located in the Argelès-sur-Mer, Saint-André, and Soride. The fire destroyed 1 forest fire tanker truck and around 50 mobile homes in the Les Chênes Rogues campsite in Argelès-sur-Mer. Several sections of the D914 between Argelès-sur-Mer and Saint-André and several other local roads are closed. Winds brought disaster to Montenegro, where 2 people drowned and several were injured when strong southern winds hit the coast. Port authorities in the towns of Ulcinj and Petrovac said. A rapidly spreading wildfire at the center of Spain's island of Gran Canaria prompted authorities to remove several hundred villagers, shut 3 roads, and deploy firefighting helicopters. Antonio Morales, head of the Island Council of Gran Canaria, said about 100 firefighters and 9 aircraft were working to put out the blaze that had so far burned through 200 hectares of forest. More than 8,000 evacuees from a wildfire that has devastated forests on the Spanish island of Tenerife for more than a week were able to return home as the blazes has been brought under control, authorities said on Wednesday. The fire, which started on August 15th, has so far ravaged almost 15,000 hectares of woodland within the national park surrounding the Mount Teide volcano, Spain's highest peak.
Miren arriba. Hoy la verdad que parece que está un poco más frenado, pero anoche esto era puro fuego.
Nunca, la primera vez, pero sí he pasado por cosas más o menos simultáneas.
The fire is largely under control, except in one area in Guimar. However, there are many hotspots which could reactivate during the hottest hours of the day and could, once again, cross the control line, authorities said. 20 aircraft will continue working to control the fire, which has a perimeter of more than 80 kilometers, 50 miles. Thousands of residents of La Palma in the Canary Islands have been urged to leave their homes as emergency workers try to bring a wildfire under control. The blaze began early on Saturday and has already consumed 4,500 hectares, 11,100 acres of land, and at least a dozen homes. Around 400 troops from various agencies are on the ground tackling the blaze. Officials said some 4,255 people had been evacuated, but that others were declining to leave. The blaze began in the area of El Pinar, in the northwestern municipality of Punta Gorda, before spreading south towards the town of Tillarafe. The Spanish army has deployed 150 of its firefighters, and a further unit is expected to follow. The Red Cross has also set up a facility to assist evacuees. In Portugal, usually one of the European countries worst hit by wildfires, according to EU data, hundreds of firefighters scramble to put out flames near the popular holiday destination of Cascais, with strong winds complicating efforts. The wildfires started in a mountainous area of the Sintra Cascais Park, which covers about 56 square miles, 145 square kilometers, west of Lisbon. More than 600 firefighters were brought in, and water-bombing planes also battled the blaze, but had to stop operating as the night set in. The mayor of Cascais, Carlos Carreras, said gusts of up to 37 miles per hour were the biggest challenge, and that some people had been evacuated as a precaution. Portugal is under a widespread drought affecting 90% of the country. The fire near Odemira began on Saturday and was driven south into the hilly interior of the Algarve, Portugal's main tourism region, by strong winds. It has so far destroyed some 6,700 hectares, 16,600 acres of land, while a total of 19 villages, 4 tourist accommodations, and a camping site have been evacuated. The town's mayor, Helder Guerrero, has said that the situation is critical, difficult, and complex. In the center of the country, other major fires prompted the closure of several stretches of motorway, including parts of the A1 between Lisbon and Porto. The EU Commissioner for Crisis Management, Hannes Lenarčič, said Brussels wanted to sign contracts this year for up to 12 firefighting planes to improve its ability to fight blazes fueled by climate heating. The EU had already doubled its existing reserve fleet of firefighting aircraft in the past year, after devastating fires last summer in southern Europe exhausted its previous 13-craft capacity. The summer of 2023 is shaping up to be one of the most destructive on record, as wildfires rage across Europe. The flames are fueled by record-breaking heat and dry conditions, and the situation is only getting worse. This is a wake-up call for us all, and we need to take action to address the climate crisis. This is a climate crisis in action, and we need to take action now to prevent more devastation. For more videos like this, please like and subscribe to our channel.